have a chance at this race. And from my talking to the Herrera campaign, he's taking this race a lot more seriously. So we'll see what happens.
One other
please.
One other wrinkle of that is there is a third candidate. He's a former congressman. Kiko Canseco is running. And I don't think he's going to win. I don't think he'll make the runoff. But that is a different kind of poll than we see from a lot of third-level candidates. And, that could push it to a runoff where it otherwise wouldn't. And frankly, I think we probably will see a runoff. But that's something that didn't exist last time, and it still went to a runoff in 24.
And that gives more time for the media cycle to be able to catch up with that Tony Gonzales story, potentially. Before we leave Crenshaw, I assume you guys saw the thing today with his staff from the Wikipedia thing.
Oh, yeah. So we published a story today. So Crenshaw, on his finance reports, he's paying a company called SEO 411. That company is owned by a woman named Elizabeth Guest, and she has a Wikipedia account that she has enough credibility. So on Wikipedia is like crowdsourced. Like, it's not, the people can go in and add edits and changes and information to it. In order to do that and for those edits to be accepted, you have to have a certain credibility, right? And you build that up by adding edits over time, and you build up like a credibility score, and then when you add an edit to something, that's ranked higher. So she's built up a pretty decent credibility score. We found out that she was going in and she got hired by the Crenshaw campaign to do webmaster work, was what she said. But we found out that based on her user profile that she was going in and editing Crenshaw's Wikipedia to make certain things look better, and she was adding comments in there and edits to Steve Toth's Wikipedia to make him look worse, which, like, there's nothing illegal about that. It is dirty, and you can argue it's unethical, but it's completely legal. But it was funny, like, the edits ended up getting removed for being like false, and then she got hit with something on Wikipedia for having a payment conflict of interest, which is true. Like, you're editing stuff on Wikipedia, but you're being paid by the campaign. That's kind of right. And I actually called her last night to get comment from her, and she initially claimed, no, I didn't make those edits at all. And then pressing her a little bit, she was like, well, I don't remember making those edits. And then pressing her a little bit more, and then she's like, well, my password's really weak, and it's possible that somebody hacked into my account and did that. And I'm like, so you want me to believe that somebody hacked your account to go in there and make negative posts about Steve Toth? This is kind of silly. But that was the story this morning.
Yeah, very interesting. All right, well, let's go to Railroad Commissioner. And Brad, I'm going to rely on you here. It's a crowded field, and I don't have my glasses on. So why don't you give us the rundown on that race?
Railroad Commission races are always the weirdest, the most interesting, I think. Flashback to 22, Wayne Christian was on the ballot. You had a host of candidates. One who I know fairly well is Sarah Stogner.
Yes.
And anybody know what she's famous for? Yeah, riding naked on a pump jack. But hey, it worked. It got her in the runoff. And she actually had a lot of substance to talk about. And that
she's a judge now.
She's a DA.
DA, sorry.
Yeah.
DA.
You have her phone number.
I'm not giving it to you, Richard. So there was that odd aspect. You also had a candidate die during the race in a car wreck. Add to that fact, the incumbent Wayne Christian, he's a gospel singer by trade. Nothing to do with energy. Now, he was in the Texas House for a long time, ran for Railroad Commission, won. So this race is always just really weird. What? It seems like that, yeah. This time around, we got Jim Wright, who is the incumbent. He's been there for one 6-year term. Jim is interesting in his own right because he defeated in 20 an incumbent in the primary, Ryan Sitton. And a big reason why is because Jim shares the same name as the long-dead U.S. House Speaker from Texas.
Fort Worth.
Jim Wright. And so Jim ran a good campaign, but there was that weird twist that vaulted him into first. He's up for re-election. You've got, I think, the one that gets the most attention is Beau French. He's the former Tarrant County GOP chair. I'll let Tony go into more detail on that. But, he's got a profile. And he actually does have a history in the oil and gas industry, or at least his family does. So, this is not totally out of left field. Then you've got a few other candidates. One is the Democrat who ran against Christy Craddock for Railroad Commission in 24. And you've got the guy who ran against Christy in the primary running. And I think there's one more that's, Hawk Dunlap, which is quite a name. He's the one who's notable because he said on a Twitter video, quote, "I would rather eat manure than ask for money." And I think that got him quite a bit of money, actually. So this is just a really weird cast. The poll that I saw come out, and again, this happened at the end of January, so things have happened since then. But the percentage breakdown was Jim Wright at 21%. Makes sense. He's the incumbent. James Matlock. Anybody ever heard of him? No. He's at 20. He's the one that ran against Craddock in the primary in 24. Then you have the Democrat in the race, Catherine Colbert at 8%. Then Beau French at 6%. And then Hawk Dunlap at 2%. So, I mean, clearly there's a ton of undecided. This thing's going to shift a lot. I don't know who's going to get in the runoff, though, with Wright. French probably has the money coming in that the others don't. And I'd probably give it to him that he makes it. But that 6% is a long way to go. So that race is just weird. It's going to continue to be weird.
I'm going to be nice.
By the way, is it true that Jim Wright had given money to Democrat candidates in the past?
I think so, yeah. He was a business owner, so you see that a lot more, but, that's still going to be used against him, right? And turnabout's fair play, right? Mm-hmm. The other thing with Wright is I think he was the spearheader of one of the more environmental regulations that the commission passed. He'll argue that it was the right thing to do, and I don't think he's going to back down from that. But it's being used against him in the campaign too. But in a runoff and right now, nobody's paying attention to that. Right. All the attention's at the top. You get some attention in the Attorney General's race. Nobody knows who they're voting for in this. And
the slates matter then. The cards, link letter.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And Beau French is on the link letter. Yeah. So
that's actually his strategy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the average normal person, like the ones not super connected to politics, doesn't know what Railroad Commission does. They think it's railroad. Like, it actually does a lot more, right? But I think the average person, you ask somebody off the street, what does the Railroad Commission do? Well, they're a commissioner of the railroad. They don't know that there's more to it. And so, these candidates have tried to highlight themselves by talking about different issues. Like Beau French, his issue is he's running for Railroad Commissioner to stop Islam.
And DEI.
Oh, and DEI. I'm running for Railroad Commissioner to stop Islam. And you can argue whether that's effective or not, right? And online, that's a really hot topic right now on social media, talking about Islam. There's a bunch of celebrities have recently popped up for talking about Islam. I think one of them is like this Kaylee Campbell girl that's gone viral, this blonde girl who, if you look into why she disappeared for several years and all of a sudden came back, it's very interesting. And if you run her voter history, she doesn't vote, which is also really interesting for somebody that talks about politics a lot, that they don't vote. But the Islam thing is really trendy right now to attack Islam, and you can argue that's justified, but it's just Beau French does have maybe a good strategy there in talking about it consistently and making it part of his campaign. So much so, like he's been advertising the speaking. He lives in Fort Worth. He's been advertising the speaking event that he was supposed to speak to today at 6:30. That's in Houston, and he found out an hour beforehand that it's hosted at a mosque or an Islamic center. So it's like, how did you not know like where it was being? It seems kind of irresponsible, but whatever. Anyway.
Yeah. So personal disclosure, I went to college with Beau, and we chewed the same dirt in Tarrant County in the GOP. And I'm not campaigning. I'll just say this: like, Beau was the chairman of the party in Tarrant County in a cycle where, for the first time in years, Tarrant County expanded margins across the board, 2024, and so. But with you guys, like, that's a tough one. The guy that's got the job now, of course, has the day of my dad. Wasn't there like an Eddie Murphy movie like that? Jeff Johnson, the name you know? Remember that? The candidate or whatever? Well, anyway, it just reinforces the point. Name ID is a lot It's just huge, and it's what Wrights is suffering from, right, or REITs, and it's particularly statewide. Back to your point earlier, Brad, about Don Huffines having a structural advantage, having run a gubernatorial, and those billboards were pretty entertaining if y'all saw them up and down I-35. Let's go to, tell you what, let's do a little curveball here. We got a few minutes left. What races are you guys, other than the big ones, what races are you guys following most closely or find the most interesting?
I think up in DFW, it's certainly HD98. That's Fred Tate versus Armin Mazani. That's become a proxy fight over tort reform, and I'm not going to go into all the details because I don't know if anyone really cares. But it does matter a lot in terms of the money that is coming in. And there is a huge political fight in Austin over that policy issue, and that has spread out into these electoral races. Those two are slugging it out. They're like killing each other on the air.
Yeah, one's a TLR candidate.
Yep.
And a Sands candidate. That's Fred.
Well, no, actually not. Sands is not for Tate.
Yeah, we may want to double check that one. He denied in a public forum that he was not taking the campaign finance report. Showed some donations.
I know Sands was pretty pissed at Fred Tate right now, so I don't think they're backing him.
Well, Sands is but a few candidates so
far.
Get
a Patriot fact check?
TLR is certainly backing Fred Tate, and the personal injury attorneys are backing Armin Mazani. Lots of money is being spent in that. Another one is Ken King out in the Panhandle. TLR was going after a lot of House incumbents, and they wanted retribution for what happened to their policy last year. They realized that the polling was not in their favor at all, and no matter how much money they spent, they probably were not going to take out Mark LaHood or Mark DeRazio in San Antonio. So they moved resources elsewhere. Well, it also caused resources that were going in to defend Mark LaHood to move elsewhere. And now we're seeing money that wasn't going into HD 88 up in the Panhandle going in. And Ken King actually has a tough primary for the first time in many years. And so there's a lot of ads being spent. It's really cheap media up there, so money goes a long way.
Not like DFW, I can tell you firsthand.
Absolutely. So I don't think they'll get him. From what I'm hearing, polling suggests he'll survive, but he's still sweating it out. And he actually has to run a campaign, which he didn't have to in 24. He was opposed to school choice, but Abbott did not go after him. So those are two I'm watching right now. Oh, there's another one in Galveston. Terry Leo Wilson and Nathan Watkins. That one is a Sands casino proxy fight. Sands is going after Terry Leo Wilson. I think they think she's vulnerable. I don't know how vulnerable she actually is. But there you have TLR backing Leo Wilson and Sands backing Watkins. How does that turn out? I don't know, but a lot of money's being spent.
What's the latest polling that you've seen on 98 showing?
I have not seen any polling in 98. I don't know if they've done it. I'm sure the camps have done it. Have you seen any?
I haven't.
Okay. Yeah. I think it's a crapshoot right now.
And does everybody understand the dynamic with Sands and Adelson's this particular cycle? You want to explain it real quick, Brad?
Las Vegas Sands is in year 4 or 5 of trying to legalize gambling in Texas, and they've come in, they've bought up basically every lobbyist in Austin, gotten them on their side, and are trying to blitz the legislature. It hasn't worked yet. I don't think it's going to work. They lost ground last year legislatively. So now they're trying to claw some momentum back. They got killed in SD9 in that special election in November.
And this is the same family that owns Dallas Mavericks, by the way. It's a big topic in Dallas, of course. And a lot of people are saying, maybe some of us are hearing.
Are you saying, Chris?
Maybe some of us are hearing firsthand that, like, if it's a massive fail again this election cycle, that they may take the Mavericks and hit the road.
There was some reporting that Mark Cuban was looking at buying back the Mavericks. So I think it's TBD on that. And I don't think they could still maintain a footprint here and sell the Mavericks. But I think the investment would be much less appealing to them if they don't have the basketball team to
take
go
a
with
slower
it.
roll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any races you're on?
I'm watching the Collin County races, so HD 67. That's Geoff Leach and Thorson, Matt Thorson. Collin County cracks me up. I'm sorry for the people from Collin County. Every time I go to Collin County, like to an event or like a meeting, something insane happens. Somebody assaults somebody. Some of the police get called. There's threats. Like Collin County is insane. The GOP. Yeah, they're nuts. When I appreciate that as somebody who writes gossip and trash, like I appreciate that they're like that. But the Collin County GOP consistently has beef with their representatives. So their beef with Jared Patterson, with Matt Shaheen, with Geoff Leach. Like they don't get along. And the Collin GOP continues to throw goofy candidates at these guys, hoping that one will stick and they'll win. And it doesn't work. So this cycle's goofy candidate is Matt Thorson, who recently got hit for having like 3 bankruptcies. He's like as tall as me, and it's just not going well, and it's not going to turn out well, and he's going to be a victim of the algorithm as well. I don't even think the algorithm is on his side. And then you've got Jared Patterson, which like. Patterson's interesting, and these are my opinions. Yeah, Denton County. But I say Collin County because it's just kind of like everybody, like the people that show up in Denton County club meetings and events are the same ones that show up in Collin County and vice versa. It's kind of the same field. But you got Jared Patterson, which like, my opinion, I think he's great as a politician. He has a great voting record. He does good things. He passes good bills. He supports good stuff with an asterisk on there. But his personality is horrible. He's way too cocky, and he's pissed off a lot of people to the point where they've really scraped the bottom to throw this guy named Larry Brock at him. And this guy's a J6er, and that's another issue. And you can argue whether that's an issue or not. But like, there's literally testimony where he talked about wanting to kill police officers. He wanted to poison gas them.
I think that plays well in a Republican bracket.
Yeah, the Police Officers Association has literally come out for Patterson because of it. He's got a bunch of he's back on his taxes. I think that Paxson has a case against him for not paying his taxes, and he's got a bunch of family issues and divorce stuff, and this is their candidate to swing at Jared Patterson. And if I'm Patterson, I'm like super excited about this because he's giving me a reason to raise money, and it's going to be a big FU to the Denton County GOP. Like, you've thrown this guy at me and he's going to lose. So I don't know what they're thinking with this guy, but the county GOP and the grassroots seem to think that throwing a guy who wants to kill police officers is going to defeat Jared Patterson. And I just don't think that's going to play out well. But I am watching those races because they're funny, not because they're serious. Yeah.
We have just a few minutes left. How about any races we didn't cover that y'all like to hear about?
CD9.
That's a fun one. You've got State Rep Brisco Cain,
Right.
former candidate for Harris County Judge Alex Mueller. You also got another former congressman, Steve Stockman, who I think is going to affect this race. I don't think he will make the runoff, but he is affecting it. Then you have a bunch of other candidates, too. But really, the two top ones are Cain and Mueller. They're killing each other on TV right now. Club for Growth, as we mentioned earlier, came in for Mueller. They are running a very... Club is known for running comical, heavy-handed, but oftentimes effective ads, and they're doing that in CD9 against Brisco. I've also heard chatter that Mueller's really close to getting a Trump endorsement. I don't think Club is the catalyst for the Trump endorsement. I think Club is an early sign of the Trump endorsement. Polling that just came out today from actually Club, it showed Mueller at 29, Brisco at 25. Clearly in a runoff. We'll see where it goes. I wouldn't count Brisco out yet, but clearly Mueller has the momentum.
Yeah. I think before Mueller announced that she was getting in, this would have been something that Brisco just walked into. Like, he just would have won. And he would have, I'd argue he deserved it. I think Brisco's a phenomenal rep. He's incredibly smart. He's got great values. He's
always top 5 in like the Mark Jones.
Brisco's phenomenal. And I don't think there'd be very few grassroots that, if they were being serious, would disagree with that. But yeah, Mueller's come in. She ran for, Harris County Judge. but lost, and she's got a lot of support. And I think Briscoe's sweating that a lot, and I think it's stressing him out. So we'll see how that race goes.
The other thing I'll mention with that race, Mattress Mac was a big folk
Yeah.
missionary. He endorsed Wheeler. He also endorsed Toth, I think.
Right. So yeah, okay, go ahead. Yes.
We got time for two more.
I'll defer.
Yeah.
I'll take you back to your favorite county, HD9.
Ooh, that's a sleeper.
Yeah. Who's her opponent in that again?
Jeff Forrester.
Right.
And there's another one, isn't there 3 candidates?
There is.
Freddie America.
Yeah. Noble.
Oh yeah.
All right. Right. Freddie America. Yeah. America's interesting, man.
We're recruiting the best in College.
Yeah, America. His Facebook's just really goofy. I don't know. I don't even want to get into it. It's but Noble ran against, it was Abraham George last cycle, and he lost, and then he became chair, and now he's running for chair again. We could talk about the chair race coming up. That's
Yeah.
RPT chairman race. But yeah, I don't see Noble losing that. Do you? Like, yeah, no, there's no way. I don't. That's not really an interesting race just because she's not going to lose that.
So there was a House leadership meeting a couple weeks ago. Plug for my outlet. We exclusively reported on it. So if that kind of thing is interesting to you, go to TexasBullpen.com and subscribe. But there was a speaker meeting with his chairman. And they listed off 15 races that they're watching. There were some obvious ones that they're at least somewhat concerned about. Stan Kitzman, Angela Orr down in Waco. But then Candy Noble was on it, and she was like third. So they are concerned, and that tells you something. I think, like I said earlier, where I think the cycle's moving back, it's reverting to the mean. I think that means she'll be okay. And also, Forrester doesn't have the backing so far that Abraham George did in 24. So I think she'll be all right, but leadership is watching, and they're not taking that for granted.
We have one more.
And I think this will be the first time y'all are both going to be like, what? That's the first time we've ever been asked that. And I'll defer. You can kind of go from a high level, maybe not an actual race. And then I'll defer the rest of the time into the chair, the board chair. That would be good. State Board of Education.
Oh man, that's not my wheelhouse. I don't think. I mean, we reported
Brad
on.
knows all.
Yeah, Brad can speak at this at a much more intelligent level than I could. But we reported on one candidate who, his wife went on and interviewed that he was closeted. Like, this guy was married with, I think, kids. No, maybe no kids, but he was married, and his wife went on this huge Facebook post filing for divorce and was alleging that he did have kids, alleging that he was gay secretly, and like the kids had caught him being we have kids here, like was railing his boyfriend, like his daughter had caught him or something, and she was filing for divorce. And like, I don't watch SBOE races. They're boring for me. There's generally no drama. But then I watched a YouTube video of him I was like, that guy is gay. Like, I don't know how the wife didn't pick that up, but I was like, that dude's gay. But for somebody who could speak at it intelligently, please.
None of the races are in play in November. If it's a Democratic seat, the Democrat will win that. If it's a Republican seat, the Republican will win that, because the redistricting has made them so short up. So that's not really a factor. There are, I think, 3 open seats. One is, I think, particularly notable. The LJ Francis seat is notable. That's not an open seat, but I think the additional intriguing part there is Senator Adam Hinojosa's wife is running for the seat. And when this came out, there was a scramble to find an opponent, and they actually couldn't find anybody. And then they were like, hell, Victoria, right? I think that's her name. Victoria, why don't you run? And then she did, and she is. So she has all the big backing. I mean, Abbott endorsed her. She'll probably get the Trump endorsement if he cares enough to endorse in that. I think it's the 6th district, and I believe that's near Houston. Tiffany Nelson is one of the candidates there. I don't know it well enough, like I do the House races, but that one, based on my, read from just watching in Austin, That one seems to be the most interesting primary race, and I should be able to know the other person's name, but I don't. I got a spreadsheet I should just pull up, but it's really just business as usual for the SBOE races. There's no other than the LJ Francis one. There's nothing. Whatever Republican wins is generally going to be doing the same stuff as the other one would have done. So I don't think, to Tony's point, I don't think they're that interesting in that respect. But, you know, there are people that really care about them, and they do affect a lot. So it's not like they're not important.
I think, one more, Bonnie, go ahead.
So for CD38, there's like 10 candidates.
Yeah.
And the one that I've seen the most is Montiel because she's former Miss Venezuela and she advocates for a lot of different things. So I'm wondering, where do you see it? Just seems so busy. I
Yeah.
don't know where that's going. Then the last one is because you brought up Valentina Gomez. That's actually where I grew up in Carter Heights. So Carter, he's kind of up there. Like, where do you see that going? I don't see her winning, but what are your thoughts on it?
He's not kind of up there. Have you seen him lately? He looks, yeah. He looks bad.
Look at the candidates in the field. I mean, where do we go?
On that one, I don't see any substantial challenger. And you have the ShamWow guy, who will probably pull a good amount because of the meme. And
His
then
ad was great.
His ad was great, but does he have the money
so
to spend on it? I don't know. Valentina Gomez, I think, is a victim of the algorithm, as Tony has coined. I think Carter wins that without a runoff. I think he wins it without a runoff. Who's actually being the congressman? Good question. But see, they've had that question for years, and he's still doing it.
Or maybe it's like Kate Granger,
So-
there's nobody there.
Yeah. In 38, it's I wouldn't call it as wide open as at least how I view 32, but there's like 4 candidates I think that are some level of formidable. It seems that way. And did he just get? He hasn't gotten Trump yet, has he? Yeah, it looks like it's going that way. But you've got Shelley DeZavallos. She is more of the establishment pick. You know, I saw GoPack, which there's no reason for any of you to know it, but they have some money to put in the race. They back more like business type Republicans. They got in for her. They're putting money into that. But yeah, I think I would probably bet on Bonnke, but because there's so many, it's going to a runoff. Nobody's winning outright for sure.
We're out of time, folks. Thank you so much. And thanks to Vanessa for hosting us tonight. Please. I'm sorry, Paul Bondar, of course. And yeah, I mean, obviously very insightful. And, you know, I don't know, you'll hear another panel like this during this cycle, right? I mean, this is why we have new media. It's very interesting. I very much encourage you all to subscribe to Texas Bullpen, to Current Revolt. Check out DallasExpress.com. Again, it's totally free. Yeah, and like, good luck out there. Stay educated, you know, and vote your conscience. We appreciate it.
Thanks, y'all.
Thank y'all. Hey.